पुत पौणगे कलेजे ठंड मेरे पुत पौणगे कलेजे ठंड.
Welcome to Chat Central. Today we are talking to a very special guest. I like to call him the triple threat of Bollywood. He's an actor, a director, and a producer, and no stranger to the big screen. Let's welcome Mr. Harman Buweja.
Thank you. Quite the introduction.
It's great. You like that, right? Triple threat.
I sound like a surgical threat out of India, right? I'm the surgical strike.
No, you are the talented actor, director, a filmographer that you are from Bollywood, and we welcome you back to Vancouver.
Thank you so much.
So, last time you were here, you told us is exact to the date.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years.
How uncanny is that? So I was boarding a flight down from LA to Vancouver, and you kind of put the boarding card in your passbook.
Right.
So I went to the passbook and I was trying to delete because my passbook was just packed up. So while I was deleting, I found another one which said, Vancouver, LA, and I said, wait, I'm supposed to go to Vancouver. Did I just book the wrong flight?
No.
And then I'm looking and saying it had the same date. So I'm like, wait, this is confusing. Then I saw 2014. I was like, wow, it's exactly 2 years when I was here, to promote Char Sahibzade 1.
Right.
And I'm exactly 2 years later, I'm here. So I'm hoping everything goes the same way.
You know what? It must mean something good.
Yes,
right?
of
Something
course.
good.
खंडा खड़काने का वक्त आ गया है चलो.
You are an actor, director, producer, and I'm sure much has gone on in your life the last 2 years. So what has Mr. Harman Buweja been up to these last 2 years?
Wow, actually quite a bit. So I think first was the relief of Char Sahibzade being accepted. I think that was very crucial.
Very successful.
Yes, that was. So I think that was more of a relief, and the first 2 weeks is relief, and then you sort of get charged up to say, hey, this went off really well. So now let's start planning what's next. So obviously we started working on what film we should make next. That was a bigger challenge. But I think when something gets accepted so widely and it's loved, the pressure's back on us to make sure that the next one lives up, and or whether there should be a next one. But of course, once we read, the more we read about history, the more we realized that this story actually naturally falls into place. It's like a true-blooded sequel. Like this is exactly where the previous film ended, and it's exactly from where this film starts.
So this is some exciting news for our audiences, that there is a sequel to the much, audiences rave to Char Sahibzade. So now there's a sequel.
Yes.
Tell us about the sequel, Char Sahibzade, Rise of Banda Singh Bahadur.
Right. So this is obviously, as the title says, it is Banda Singh Ji's story. I was in a Punjabi a school the other day, and there were these 150 kids.
Right.
And so I just walked in there, started talking to them, and asked them. I said, does anyone know about Banda Singh Bahadur? I was amazed. I mean, probably had 2/3 of the kids actually put their hands up. Wow. And I was like, wow. Because I didn't know much about him. I'd heard of him, but I didn't know much about him myself till we actually started, making films in this genre is when you start reading up more and more. So obviously now I know a lot about Sikh history, I think, but it's very impressive. So I think Banda Singh is a very crucial character in terms of everything that he's achieved and he's done. The fact that he went to Sirhind. Are you familiar with the first film?
So,
a little bit.
So I'm familiar with the first one, Char Sahibzade, being versed in Sikh history. But for our audiences, like you said, some kids knew about it, but if our audience is, let's say not from the Sikh faith, not versed in historical significance of certain characters, such as Banda Singh Bahadur, if you can tell us just a summary of who Banda Singh Bahadur was and his significance in Sikh history.
Well, I think as rightly said, it's for those who probably don't know, it is a part of Indian history. Sikhs are an integral part of it, and even the story of Char Sahibzade is actually the 4 sons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji.
Right.
And they were between the ages of 7 all the way to under 18, and they were all martyred. They fought the war at the age of 14 and 17. The other 2 actually stood for justice in the court of Wazir Khan, and actually they ended up. Obviously, they were beheaded finally. To actually understand these characters and to know that these are actual real characters. This is not mythology. This is not fictional. This is actual history. This is something that happened literally 300 years ago.
This is real.
300 years ago is as real as it could get. So I think that's something which is it evokes a lot of emotions in you to know that at that age, I mean, at our age, when we're 7 and 10, we're just upset that the iPad's not charging.
Right.
If you know what I mean, that's bothering us. I mean, and here you had kids who were standing up for justice, who were standing up to give up their lives,
right.
And we can't handle the scratch. So I think to understand that about Char Sahibzade, and then obviously the story naturally progresses into Banda Singh Bahadur, who then actually took the baton on and went and actually freed Punjab from the atrocities of Wazir Khan.
Right.
It was a small little army. He was fighting the Mughal army, which had by then taken over most of the country, and he created a guerrilla army, obviously under the guidance of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and he actually took back Punjab. He actually abolished the zamindari system. He abolished so many other things, which you'll see in the film. I don't want to tell you everything. There are so many things that he abolished, he took care of, he turned things around, and it was all through guerrilla warfare. So he was a great commander-in-chief, and I'm going to stop. Now you go watch the film so you can enjoy the rest of it.
And it's his story now being told through this movie.
Correct.
And at the same time, not only do we get to see what happened post Char Sahibzade and Guru Gobind Singh's life, but then how the story was continued forward.
Correct.
And I want to thank you from all the audiences, on behalf of all the audiences, not just being from Indian background, to tell this story.
Yeah. As my dad and my mom always say, we were blessed that we actually got the opportunity to actually make a film like this, and the fact that it did so well, and for me it's as much our film as anybody else's, because no one can own a piece of history. You know what I mean? You can tell a story, but history is for everyone to know of.
But you were telling it well, and we thank you for that.
Thank you.
I also heard that in this movie there were hundreds of technicians. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, so obviously with the first one being widely accepted, by the grace of God. So I wanted to make sure that I push the envelope, really go aggressive when it comes to whatever we can. So whether it was the story screenplay, we worked really hard. We kind of built our team. We spent more time making sure the story screenplay is great. That's the core of any film, any story. Leading on to the kind of technicians we got on board. So we got a studio out of London. So I kind of toured the world, met studios all over the world, tried to get the best quotes. Finally narrowed down to the studio in London, did some sort of back end. We had about 430 odd technicians working on the animation of this film. And it's literally like we kind of put it all back into this one to make sure that it's bigger, better, to the best of our capability, because the intention has always been that, to make these films, and
now you're bringing it to real life.
Yep.
And are we going to be hearing your voice as a voiceover again, or who can we expect as the voiceovers in this
So
film?
here's the thing, right? In the film, we have this thing which is pretty right at the beginning of the film. We have this thing where we say that we thank all the guys, or rather, we thank everybody who lent their voice to different characters in the film, and we thank them especially for remaining anonymous.
Okay, so
So the reason for that is also because we strongly believe that any historical character, the minute you have a voice which is recognizable, then you think of that actor, as opposed to thinking of the historical character and staying true to that character.
Okay, so brain stigma. Okay, so I like that.
Yeah.
And we are really looking forward to watching this film. And Char Sahibzade, the first one was very successful. No doubt that this one will be just as successful. But before we can even let you leave, I want to know, after Char Sahibzade, Rise of Banda Singh Bahadur, what does Harman Buweja have planned? Are we expecting more movies? Will you be acting? What's
so we're doing a film starting early next year.
Okay.
It's called Jeta. It's on the life of Bhai Jeta. I don't know if you're familiar with Bhai Jeta, but he was a character between Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and Guru Gobind Singh Ji in that time period. I don't want to reveal more about it, because obviously I sort of want to, right now, the mindset. Well, more than the suspense, our entire life revolves around Char Sahibzade and Banda Singh Ji right now. That's all that we can think of. So we've already finished most of the scripting. We're already in the midst of casting it. Then obviously we had to take a break now because in the midst of finishing this one. And then I think early next year we should start that. So that dad's going to be directing that film.
Okay.
And that's a live action film. I would be a part of that film as well.
As an actor?
Yes.
Okay, so we get to see you on the big screen?
Yes, as an actor, producer, blah, blah, blah. As you said, just into...
Triple threat. 1, 2, 3, cut. Triple threat. Well, welcome back to Canada. Again, congratulations on Char Sahibzade, Rise of Banda Singh Bahadur. We hope that you all get to go out to the big screen. It's releasing on November the 11th. So make sure you check it out.
Please.
And you know what? Before you leave, in one word, say ikki word. I don't see triple threat. Yeah, it might be hard to. One word. Describe what the essence of the movie is and why viewers should go see it. One word.
I think honest. Honest would be the word.
Honest.
Yes, it's an honest film in more ways than one. From the way the story's been told to the characters in the film to our approach to the film, I think so.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
again, thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
back to Dr. Chat Central.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all at the movies.
I'm stealing the coffee mug.
All right,
Thank you.